This video is brought to you by Answerly, a question platform that pays you for adding high-quality answers on different questions. The users are rewarded in Answerly tokens, which they can easily convert into dollars or any other cryptocurrency by using one of the exchanges mentioned in the description.
With games like Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Genshin Impact being so popular nowadays, it has become a norm to have tried at least one open-world game. Here are some of the best open-world games that will awake the explorer within you. Hello and welcome back to our YouTube channel. In today's video, we will check out the top 5 best open-world games for low-end PCs. If you're new here, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell to get updates whenever we post. Let us begin with GTA San Andreas. GTA San Andreas system requirements: OS, Microsoft Windows 2000 or XP, processor 1 GHz Pentium 3 or AMD Athlon processor, memory 256 MB of RAM, graphics 64 MB video card GeForce 3 or better, hard drive space 3.6 GB of free hard disk space. Forget the fact that GTA San Andreas started life as a PlayStation 2 game, the ugly caterpillar has become a beautiful, if foul-mouthed, butterfly. The fifth in a series that since its 2D birth on PC back in 1997 has celebrated despicable gangsters and drive-by through, into, and over crime. San Andreas reaches new lows of depraved morality, senseless violence, and alpha male aggression. But it's the fact that it's one of the best games ever made that has already propelled it to console ultra success. Like its two more recent predecessors, San Andreas puts you in the shoes of its central character about to embark on a life of crime. However, CJ, aka Carl Johnson, is no career mobster in the mold of Vice City's Tom Vercetti. In fact, he has been away from the hood for 5 years to try and escape the gang violence endemic in his home city of Los Santos. He's brought back by his mother's untimely death. Hooking up with his brother's suite and old friends, CJ is inevitably drawn back into the world he had left behind. A world of guns, drugs, territory, casual violence, and respect. Throughout the game, the variety of the 100-plus missions never fails to delight. Steal a combine harvester, infiltrate the secret army base, chase down thieves on quad bikes, rob a bank, shoot down remote-controlled planes with a minigun, rescue a bunch of stoned English rockers from the desert, fly a plane to Liberty City to carry out a hit, from the simple to the devilish to the grimly criminal to the comedic, from the sublime to the ridiculous. San Andreas returns the power to surprise and entertain throughout its lengthy structure. Far Cry 2. Far Cry 2 system requirements: supported OS Windows XP and Windows Vista, processor Pentium 4 3.2 GHz, Pentium D 2.66 GHz, AMD Athlon 64 3500 plus or better, Pentium Intel Core 2 Duo Family, AMD 64X2 5200 plus, AMD Phenom or better recommended. RAM at least 1 GB or 2 GB recommended. Video card NVIDIA 6800 or ATI X1650 or better shader Model 3 required. 256 MB of graphics memory. NVIDIA 8600 GTS or better, ATI X1900 or better recommended. Sound card 5.1 sound card recommended. DirectX version DX 9.0 or DX10. DVD-ROM drive, any DVD drive, CD-ROM not supported. Hard drive space 12 GB. Peripheral supported mouse, keyboard, headsets, etc. Multiplayer, broadband or LAN connection required. If Far Cry 2 was released in 2018, it would be praised as a radical new take on the Ubisoft formula. The following 3 Far Cry games and almost a dozen across other Ubisoft franchises have all followed the same model: take down outposts and defeat bosses to regain control of zones on the map. Far Cry 2 would have felt like a new, minimalist version of open-world game that Ubisoft had never tried before. Instead, the influence of Far Cry 2 can be felt all through gaming, from survival games to battle royale and even some of the most popular action games and RPGs of the last several years. Everything seems to take a little piece of Far Cry 2, but since it came out in 2008 and not 2018, Far Cry 2 is doomed forever to be disastrously ahead of its time, forgotten in name, but certainly not in legacy. Fallout New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas system requirements: Windows 7, Vista, or XP. Dual-core 2 GHz or equivalent processor, 2 GB of RAM, 10 GB of free hard drive space, NVIDIA GeForce 6 series or ATI X1300 series video card, or equivalent. The Fallout series takes place after a nuclear war and the US is desecrated, a shell of its former glory. Humanity emerges from the tragedy as selfish and power-hungry as ever. Despite the bombardment of numerous nukes, the city of Vegas managed to survive the war, mostly untouched. In the aftermath, a group of people formed touting the values of the old governmental system and called themselves the New California Republic, or NCR. Thanks to the Hoover Dam, the NCR and citizens of New Vegas have access to clean water and power, something most areas lack. At odds with the NCR is the Legion, a dictatorship led by a man who renamed himself Caesar. Based on the Roman methodology of conquering other civilizations, the Legion absorbs nearby tribes and enslaves a portion of their population. The NCR and Caesar's Legion butt heads over control of the area, and tensions are high. Apart from the key story, there's a plethora of side missions to play through, and that's what makes the game truly shine. The great thing about the open world of New Vegas is just that there are a few limits to exploration. There's almost an overwhelming amount of places to find, and every time you turn around, someone will want your help. Just when you think you've explored every nook and cranny of an area, you'll realize that there are underground sewers to brave or some other previously undiscovered factor. Some quests are short and off-the-go fetch variety, while others are truly epic tales that overshadow the chief storyline. Deception, cannibalism, space travel, and drug use are all themes found in the off-straight and narrow places. Depending on how you treat people, their opinion of you will change. If you're kind to a small town of folks and help protect them from hostile groups, they'll idolize you, while the opposing group will hate you. These opinions are important, and they'll determine how aggressive the different groups are towards you. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim system requirements: OS Windows 7, Vista, XP PC, 32 or 64-bit, processor dual-core 2.0 GHz or equivalent processor, memory 2 GB system RAM, hard disk space 6 GB free hard drive space, video card DirectX 9.0C compliant video card with at least 512 MB of RAM. With Skyrim, the stories have come from how the game works are often the best ones. It's a frozen nation, just to the north of where the previous game, Oblivion, took place. A pleasantly brief introduction sets up the plot of Skyrim. In the middle of a revolt, you've been sentenced to death and dragons have shown up. Good luck! At that point, you emerge from a cave into 40 square kilometers of cold and mountainous country, and that's it. Everything else is up to you. The mountains change everything. Wherever you decide to head, your journey is split between scrambling up treacherous rocks and skidding down heart-stopping slopes. The landscape is a challenge and travel becomes a game. It's hard to walk for a minute in any direction without encountering an intriguing cave, a lonely shack, some strange stones, a wandering traveler, a haunted fort. These were sparse and quickly repetitive in Oblivion, but they're neither in Skyrim. It's teeming with fascinating places, all distinct. It was 40 hours before I blundered into a dungeon that looked like one I'd seen before, and even then what I was doing there was drastically different. These places are the meat of Skyrim, and they're what makes it feel exciting to explore. You creep through them with your heart in your mouth, your only soundtrack the dull groan of the wind outside, to discover old legends, dead heroes, weird artifacts, dark gods, forgotten depths, underground waterfalls, lost ships, hideous insects, and vicious traps. It's the best Indiana Jones game ever made. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. OS Windows XP 32 to 64-bit, Windows Vista 32 to 64-bit, or Windows 7 32 to 64-bit. Processor Intel Core 2 Duo 1.8 GHz or AMD Athlon X2 64 2.4 GHz. Memory 1.5 GB Windows XP, 2 GB Windows Vista, Windows 7. Graphics 256 MB DirectX 9.0 compliant card with shader model 3.0 or higher. See supported list. DirectX 9.0. Disk space 8 GB available space. Sound card DirectX 9.0 compliant sound card. The most important thing that you need to know before starting Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is that after the first hour, you're never forced to man any more asinine cannons. Don't be discouraged by the frustratingly pointless cinematic-heavy introduction, because everything after that is compelling. I couldn't stay mad at the game for long, not after nimbly scaling Rome's famous Colosseum and flicking my blade into the necks of 3 hapless gunmen, all entirely undetected. Brotherhood's massive and complex open world is an engrossing, blood-soaked playground. Brotherhood's biggest improvement is that it requires only one-time activation as opposed to AC2's always online DRM. The game itself isn't notably superior, especially in terms of story, but all of its additions put it at least on par with the last, and it's a hugely entertaining sequel. Well, there you have it, the top 5 open world games for low-end PC that will turn you into an avid explorer. And that's it for today's video, guys. Let us know what you think in the comment section down below.
If you like this video, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to this channel. To learn more about Answerly and Answerly tokens, check out the links in the description.